A spiritual practice is a healing journey that looks different for everyone, and you don't need anything fancy. We're Karlie and Karla, and this is Without a Candle, a raw, authentic chat bridging the gap between what it actually is and what media sells you. Let's normalize the journey together.
All right. Hey guys.
Hi.
I'm Karla and I'm here with Karlie. And today, right now, is a little bit more about Karlie's journey over the last 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, more than 6 months, but more so.
Yeah.
That's going to be confusing.
So I guess the mine
More so
actually
extreme.
started in November
Yeah.
of
You
last year.
started all the things,
Yeah.
all the deeper work,
Yeah.
right? And really owning
All the things.
yeah, because that wasn't a journey itself. Figuring out like what do I want to do,
Yeah,
right?
and like what were
um,
my gifts and all of
yeah.
that. And I know in season 1 we kind of touched on that, and then segueing into season 2, we touched on it a little bit of that story and journey.
The self-discovery.
Yeah.
So, but the newest thing, like as of recently, has been SRA, the Spirit Release Academy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's been
That was been a wild ride.
that was like the hardest convincing that I've ever had to do with someone in my life.
And honestly, with me too, because usually I'm like, yeah, okay, Karla, but I think because I was so ingrained with like the Akashic Records and like I just found this, I don't need anything else,
Well,
and we've
at
got
that
all this
time,
other stuff.
you were enrolling into college as well.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So like there was like if I'm gonna do all of this, then there's really not room for
There's
all
not,
of that.
yeah.
And I know part of you didn't want to be excited about something else.
Yeah, I really, because I had just emptied my plate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't need to refill it,
Yeah.
but
this is good shit.
Yeah.
It's like the best dessert ever.
Yes.
Right.
And so those of you that know me personally, y'all know that once I get an idea in my head, I got the idea in my head, I got to run with it. So after having all of last year with multiple downloads for myself and then multiple readings with Matt, and then even in my own Akashic Records, them telling me, hey, education and going back to school and learning stuff is key for you right now.
But
and
you thought like universal style.
Yes.
Right? You thought inside the box.
Yes. So because my calling is really to help with the mental health, like the spiritual side of mental health, and how to segue people in understanding the importance and giving them different options and modalities outside of clinical therapy, right?
So let's pause for a second.
Yeah.
So some people out there watching still they don't know what SRA is, and they don't know what practice we're talking about.
Yeah.
So in your own words, well, SRA's words, will you share really quick what we're talking about right now?
Yeah, so Spirit Release Academy
is the school, is the education.
Yep, is the education part of remote spirit guided spirit release clearings, right? Andy and Jono, founders, they are a fantastic duo team out in the UK, with a fantastic team behind them as well. Not even behind them. We all stand next to each other in solidarity.
Their personalities kind of remind me of our
I know. It cracks me up because I feel like you're more Andy and I'm more Jonna.
Vice versa.
Yeah, vice versa.
Even down to tech stuff, like, because Jono doesn't do tech.
No.
and
There's Andy.
Yeah.
That's all of it.
And Jono's also very straightforward and business minded. And
I'm more just like
no bullshit, no fluff,
Yeah.
And so that was kind of funny to kind of learn that. But anyway, so that course was over several. Well, by the time we did the pre-work, it was months worth of work.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, for you, months. Yeah. My pre-work was in 48 hours.
Because you didn't listen.
No, because I was still on the whole mindset of like, I have to take college, like I have to go back to college. And so I literally enrolled and was going through the paperwork of financials to get my bachelor in psychology and mental health, because in my mind, like all of the signs were pointing to like, hey, you need the foundational education for this.
Yeah.
So then, as I'm going through all this, Karla was like, hey, have you listened to this podcast yet? It's like, fuck no. No, I haven't. The next day, have you listened to it yet? No, Carla. Weeks of this, okay? And I'm in the thick of like trying to figure out how I'm funding college, okay? How I'm gonna fit this into my schedule, even 15 hours a week, how I'm gonna do that, juggling the shop, all of the festival stuff, my toddler, you know. So I'm like, no, I haven't. So one day she sends it to me again. She's like, just listen to this. And
I
I'm
think
like,
I finally just said you're about to miss it.
yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, fine. So I listened to it. And in previous podcasts, they said germ theory is what made it click, right? And so that gave me a week to get my shit together, to have this interview, get accepted, and then go through the payment, the pre-work, all the things. I got all of that stuff 72 hours before we were supposed to start that class. I jam-packed months of pre-work in 48 hours. And so we get through the first week, and I realize that the education that I was being led to do was with SRA.
But it didn't have to be,
And
you know, 6 years or 8 years, however long that took.
It didn't have to, because after being in my records and talking to my record keepers and my guides and all the things, I found the understanding of myself with the confidence that I already knew all of the clinical stuff. I've already done all of that work. I don't need a clinical degree because I'm doing nothing in clinical psychology. I just needed that foundation, which I had already done for years. To be able to just have the confidence to realize I knew all that, to do the new work that I'm being led to do with SRA. So that led me into I know, me too. That I don't need to be a 33-year-old woman going back to college, taking
with a 2-year-old.
With a 2-year-old right now.
And trying to figure out how, you know, to do the student loans, right?
Yeah, because
it's not supposed to be that hard.
No, it's not. So, and then understanding too that if I had a clinical background, that limits me on the spiritual side of what I'm truly
because
being
now
led
you're
to do.
tied to what the licensure allows you to do.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yep. So, on that same note, though, it's hard for me to remember that there's an age gap between us, right? And it's hard for me to remember, you know, we're going through some of the same challenges and the same struggles in our growth process, right? Like with me owning mediumship and you as well.
Yeah.
But I've got a couple years on you,
Yeah.
you know? So there's sometimes I'm expecting you to swim faster.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Karlie.
Yeah.
She's like, but I'm 10
I
years,
don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
10 years younger. So what role are you currently playing with SRA and what does that mean?
So right now I'm a facilitator, and that means that I work the protocol. I am the one that chats with the spirit guide, make sure that the sovereignty and physical protection of the medium is solid. I write the reports, I send it out to the clients because there's difference in clients and recipients, right? We can get to that another time, for time and space on that, but I do all the back end of what these clearings are.
She loves it.
I do.
She loves it.
I do.
So there's files for the raw material, there's files for the raw notes, there's files for final notes, there's like all the things behind the scenes.
There's a drive with all the individual folders, and then there's a spreadsheet with all individual information with the folders linked on the my type A personality is happy. I will say that.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing to have that. But that's important.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you have the capability to do that because when we first started all this work, going back to talk about Dr. Palmer and Andy for a minute, it was important to them that they cataloged these cases and these studies and the follow-ups for the concrete evidence.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Karlie, this is groundbreaking for us here and for us in Kentucky and in the United States. Because currently SRA is it London in the UK? Or what's the...
I think,
Anyway, they're in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
I'm not good with all the other details. Yeah, none of it.
Yeah.
So, but that's there.
Yeah.
Right? And this is groundbreaking information for us here.
Yeah.
And what if in 10 years someone's intrigued enough to see the thousands of cases that we've done,
Yeah.
right?
So I do want to note that we didn't previously talk about is that Dr. Terrence Palmer, he is a clinical psychology researcher. And that means that all of the cases that he has done with Andy, and Andy has done with Jono, and Jono has done with X, and X is done with Y, and Y is done with Z, and it goes on. All of these cases are put in a catalog of research. So when the medical field catches up with what I just got all body goosebumps. But once the medical field finally catches up with what we are doing on the energetic spiritual side of mental health healing or mental health, what insert whatever you want to say here, or call it here, we have the evidence to back up how much these clearings are helping people. And just on the 1,000 cases that Dr. Terrence Palmer and Andy Porter have done, they have over an 80% success rate. And that also gave me goosebumps because...
Well, and so I know this is supposed to be like your interview, but I just want to throw something else out there. It's closer than we think.
Oh, yeah.
Because this year alone, having the backing and the support in the United States for plant medicine has come so far.
Oh, yeah. We're in a renaissance for the plant medicine for sure.
It's crazy shit.
Yeah.
Well, they've been doing it secretly or quietly, not secretly, but they've been doing it very quietly for a long time with, the veterans work and that kind of stuff for PTSD.
Yeah.
But, Kentucky for Ibogaine or something like that. That is huge, and that movement is happening.
Oh yeah,
and that is a plant medicine, and you don't have to pay thousands of dollars to get plant medicine. I may know a person.
Yeah.
Anyway, squirrel.
Yeah.
So,
and I do want to add on that. So I also listen to a podcast that researches, or not researches, but interviews researchers and doctors and therapists and everything that are in this Renaissance movement for plant medicine. And one of the most recent episodes I was listening to was about a company that just got government funding out of Canada.
Yeah.
There's another one in Seattle that, I mean, the renaissance of this is really starting to be more public. There's advocacy groups that are really pushing it to be decriminalized. And also restructured on how we can offer this as a clinical support. So also knowing that, we also have a team member with the SRA community that here in the United States just got approval for our work to be researched. Yeah. And like on the clinical side. So I'm really excited to see where that goes with Miriam.
My reason for mentioning that was we're not that far. We're not that far to this being the norm. Yeah. It's always been the norm for us on a different level, right?
So just an extra piece to the treatment because, I'm not going to say that medicine or pharmaceutical medicine doesn't help because it does help.
It does. It has its place.
But this could be a starting point so people don't have to always take medication because sometimes they don't need it.
It doesn't have to be a first.
It doesn't have to be the first treatment.
To change gears a little bit, how has that changed your practices before you found SRA? So, like your Akashic Records.
Yeah.
So you're about to finish up level 3 for Akashic Records, right?
So that will finish up in August. Man, so the Akashic Records, it started with obviously level 1 in November, and that opened the door to me having more confidence in my spiritual practice, right? Helping me evolve in areas where I was lacking, I felt blockages in, and not realizing how much of a connection it gave me to my own spirit guide team. Do you know the class? You're good? There you go. Okay. How much of a connection it gave me to my spirit guide team, right? And then between level 1 and level 2, I spent so much time in my records, multiple times a day. Not only solo, but I also have a mentor in Lexington that I reach out to whenever I'm like, hey, I have questions, and finding out that I can just be in my records whenever, you know, and that changed the game too.
A constant state of meditation in your
Yeah.
records,
Yeah, constantly.
like all day.
Yeah. And so I started working with that, and I started, if I knew I was gonna be here and it was gonna be slow or whatever, I would tap in my records and just let the downloads come through and compartmentalize. I can't say that word today.
Compartmentalize.
Yeah, thank you. Some of those things, taking notes, like, or what was coming through, when they were coming through, what we were talking about, how that influenced my day to day, right? So then we get into level 2, and that was just mind blowing because in Reiki, I don't think I was ever confident. I don't think I was ever confident. And not to, this might sound shitty, but you know, it's us.
Were you like that? Yeah.
Going into my Reiki training, I literally felt like I was just thrown to the wolves. Here, do this. You're gonna do it. You're ready. You're gonna do it.
We just talked about that.
Right.
Like swim fast.
Right. And so I think up until the Akashic records, I don't think I ever understood my full potential with that. Yeah. And I think because of, well, I know, I'm not going to say I think, because I know for sure that that's why I never had the downloads until very recently. I never believed, and I always said, well, that only happens with Karla and her sessions. I don't get those.
I'm the same way. I had dismissed my responsibility as mediumship. You were doing the same thing to yourself.
So then I get into I have my level 2. I'm starting to open records for other people, and I always kind of knew some of my thoughts weren't my thoughts until I started opening other people's records, and I was like, it makes so much more sense. Of course, I'm not thinking, like, none of those are mine. You know, none of that is mine. And having the understanding that I don't need to, how do I verbalize this? That I don't need to understand what's coming through. If it sounds...
It's not my business.
Right. It's like, if it sounds crazy to me, it's probably not crazy to them. And Matt actually taught me that because I had a reading with him between level 1 and level 2, and he said, Karlie, this is going to sound crazy. And my human self almost doesn't want to say it. And I was like, you? Really?
You're Matt, though.
What?
Yeah.
And so he tells me, and my human self was like, yeah, that does sound fucking crazy. And then I have level 2, and I texted Matt after that, and I was like, so this wasn't crazy. And so I haven't had level 3 yet. We're in between. And I have SRA.
Yeah.
Right?
What was the moment? Okay, go ahead.
So I have SRA. I'm going through the training as a facilitator. I think it was the second to last class or last class. We had, me and my partner, whoever I was with, finished up a little early in our breakout room. So we got over, and I was talking to Andy for a minute. And Andy looks at me, he goes, you're a medium, right? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And he goes, but you do the Akashic Records. And I go, well, yeah. And he goes,
that's a medium.
So you're a medium. And I'm like, no. So
Denial, the best way to get out of doing shit.
Yeah. So then the conversation got interrupted because more people came out and we finished out the course. And then a week later, I started my personal development class with Andy. And so again, I got in a little early and we're chatting and everything. And he goes, so why are you taking the class? And I was like, well, I feel like I need to. And he goes, well, why do you feel like you need to? And I'm like, it's a personal development class, Andy. And he goes, yeah, and I'm like, I want to learn my gifts better. And he goes, Karlie, you already do it. Every time we ping you, you're always sovereign. We've never had to clear you outside of your big, you know. And he said, I don't remember his verbiage verbatim, but he said, you already do transfer in the Akashic Records. And I sat back and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, we had conversations too, because it's kind of the same concept.
Yeah.
Because now we're both taking Trans 1.
Yeah.
And then someone had asked me, like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Right? But sometimes it's about learning how others share the work and verbalize stuff.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Right? Why not?
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't learn from the class, or from the instructor. Sometimes you learn from the class,
Yeah.
right?
So
But I am super excited.
Yeah.
About the trans work. I'm super excited to see what comes through for others. Yeah. So that's.
Yeah.
So are you ready for that? Because that's next week.
Yeah,
right?
I know that is next week.
Is that next Monday?
Yeah, next Monday. So, and that's with Jono, and I'm super excited about it. But that also changed how I've been showing up for people in the Akashic Records too, because I had learned that shortly after I finished Akashic Records level 2 and being able to open people's records and such. And so now just going in with the confidence of like, I don't need to, it's almost like when you go in a transfer SRA, you just sit there and let them do the work.
Yeah.
And that's how it is for me now. And I'm not worried about, well, am I going to make sense? What's coming through? Like all the things. And I honestly feel my physical self giving up control, if that makes sense, without sounding weird.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, as long as you understand.
Like, has to understand.
Yeah.
If they don't understand, they can take the classes too.
Yeah. So I feel like because I'm letting control go physically, they're coming in stronger than ever. And because now I have done the work to meet my team, I I can call on them no problem now. And I know that they already know the job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that has changed drastically in how I want to show up with my other services.
So speaking on that, we're doing something else together. I mean, I don't want to stress you out today, knowing that trans 1 starts next week.
Oh, the psychic surgery.
Later in the summer, psychic surgery.
I was like, what are you talking about? What is it doing?
I am such a nerd for that, and I know a lot. I know a lot of the work from SRA is going to transfer over into that as well.
Yeah.
And I know that there'll be some of us sharing the same roles, you know, as far as documentation and stuff.
Yeah.
But I am super excited.
Same.
To take that class with you. And
so the difference with the psychic surgery class and SRA is SRA has been over Zoom, you know, because they're in the UK. But Jono is actually coming to the States and is doing that in person. And when I signed up for that class, I was like, even if I feel like I'm not ready because because part of me feels like I do need to hone in on other things. I was like, I need to jump on this now because
when is he going
to be
here?
When is he going to be
And
if not, like, am I ever going to have the opportunity to go to the UK and do it? Because I don't think he does it over Zoom. I think it's an in-person thing.
But if you want to go to the UK, we can make that happen.
Well, I kind of already went. I was like, when Sarah was talking about going, I was like, is it too late for us to get a ticket? Go with you? Because man, they're gonna have some fun. I'm a little jealous, but yeah.
You know, that pulls back to a lot of the same things that, like, you're already taking care of some stuff when you're in Akashic Records, right?
Yeah.
So for me, the psychic surgery is just labeling and understanding a different part of the Reiki practice that we are already doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
it's crazy to see how much my Reiki practice has evolved, even with doing the tuning fork certification. We're also doing sound healing certification as well.
I actually forgot about that.
Man,
I haven't started.
I know. I need to do my coursework too. Because that's in like 3 weeks.
Yes. So I am more excited about the experience of that.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy.
The hands-on for sure.
And this is gonna sound crazy too. And I'm sorry if you guys are taking the class, but I'm thankful you guys are taking the class too. But I'm not even concerned or really wanting to be certified. I just want the experience.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think that's why I know that's why I haven't started the pre-work yet.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Man.
But any last little tiny tidbits?
I don't know. Gary, do you have anything?
No, I actually did.
Gary's enjoying listening to our stories and our banter.
Beating the audience.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I have really found a passion in my confidence. And not to sound egotistic, but it
It's
changed.
differently.
Yeah, the confidence
Yeah.
changes how you show up for people and how you do your work and
Does it
what
change
you
how you show
believe.
up for yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
I no longer worry about anything because in my mind, there's no other option. I'm just
Yeah.
Your attitude, nothing. How the words you say to me, I got no connection to it. You know, we're no longer friends. That's your choice. You know, like anything negative,
Yeah.
no option.
Done.
You know, we're done.
So a phrase that got me through the first few weeks of the initial training was asking my guides to clear interference. So every time my wheels would start to spin, it was like clear interference.
Yeah.
Clear interference, right?
Yeah.
Clear the static, clear the noise, clear, 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 you know? And so I still use that.
Yeah. And it's fascinating how that emits to my son as well. Because we do have access within the group for emergency clearings, just a quick ping. And because of that, our immediate family and our household also can be taken care of.
Yep.
And I need to do a little better work on my husband, but he also understands and he can do it too himself, you know. But my child, he's always over. Every time I get him checked, just randomly, like, hey, check my kid. He's 2. He doesn't know how to do energy hygiene. But
Or does he?
I swear he's probably going to blow me out of the water before he's 5 if we're being serious. But he's always over. I think there was only one time.
Yeah.
And it was yep, and it was something that I brought home.
Because we weren't aware in the car.
Yep.
To do our clearing before we got home. Yeah.
And now we are. You know, so
and that's also something I mentioned to individuals in certain practices that before they get out of the car, that they see every single client that they connected with that day, and they cut cords.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
any last words?
I don't think so. I can't think of anything. I just word vomited all the stuff, but
Well, we're excited.
I am excited.
And if that didn't look, so if we got on here and we were all frumpy about it, would you be excited?
No.
You know? So, man.
I do want to just ask that as you guys come into the shop and chat with us, please let us word vomit and don't be scared. Embrace the new things that are happening because it's for the greater good. It's for your greater good. It's for the people around you's greater good.
And even though sometimes we do have time to have in-depth conversations with you, sometimes we don't, right? Like if you come in here and have conversations, you don't know what else we've already done that day, right? So when we ask you to, hey, watch this video about this service, just humor us and watch the video about that service. Because there's a good chance that we're asking you to view something for yourself in those moments, because we currently don't have the energy to tell you everything you need to know about something. And then sometimes, even if we do have the energy, depending on what's already happened that day, we might not have the verbiage, so, or we may forget something or miss something. But a lot of the information's out there about our services, even today, like I'm missing words. All the information already out there. It's out there for a reason. And these individuals have done this practice for so much longer than we have,
decades,
that they know how to explain it and I'm not saying that anyone is uneducated or ignorant, but they can explain it to where the youngest of the journey can understand it, as well as individuals that have been on this journey with us or by themselves forever, right? Like we'll all get something out of that info. So do yourself a favor. Do us a favor.
Listen to the podcast.
And just, Google all the Dr. Palmer and Andy Porter stuff, because there's more stuff out there before the podcast was even launched.
Yeah.
So,
and their podcast is called the Sovereign Souls Podcast. We'll link everything. Y'all know that. So,
we do have someone helping us today. I want to mention Gary again. Gary's also very good about explaining some of this science-y side of things. So, as he grows his understanding, you guys, we'll learn from him too. So,
So check out the Eye Opener Society. He loves to chat. So go on, shoot him a message, and yeah, he'll help out.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate you. We love you. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Without a Candle. If this episode landed with you in any way, drop us a like and leave a comment. And then visit the show notes for the connection links and more. And remember, you are your greatest tool. We'll catch you next time. See ya.